hot. I mean, spa, outdoor, go in the Dead Sea and float if you want to for a try. Go in the pools and the spas at the hotel we're at. We picked this time of year to go before the Jewish New Year, because from September 15th to October 15th this year, the Jewish faith has their major holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and some others. And it gets crazy busy with Jewish visits, and the hotel rates can go up by 20 or 30%. We picked this time right after the busy summer season, July and August, leaving on Labor Day weekend when it's the slowest time of the year. It will be warm in Tel Aviv. It'll be in the 80s, 85 degree in Tel Aviv. As we travel north and we get to the Galilee, those 3 days the weather will come down 4 or 5 or 6 degrees. It'll be in the 70s. When we travel to the Dead Sea and go down there, down. When I say down there, below sea level, and say that it'll again be back in the 80s, 85 degrees. When we travel from the Dead Sea to Jerusalem, we're going to take an elevation change of approximately 6,000 feet. We're going to go from about 1,500 feet below sea level to about 3,000 feet above sea level, depending on which hills we're on, and that's in the Judean hills. Jerusalem is in the Judean hills. And the Judean hills, when I was there in the busy, hottest part of the summer, at night it can go into the 50s. It can get cool, and it can get really nice for walking around. It can be warm. So I would tell you, dress like we're dressed now. Make sure you have like a cardigan or a sweater, a light jacket. You won't need winter clothes by any stretch of the imagination. But the most important thing you can bring with you, forget, it's not going to rain in all likelihood. You may get a little passing shower. But the most important thing you can bring with you, for sure, comfortable shoes. We'll do some walking. And if you don't want to walk, you can wait on the bus, you can wait, and there's always areas to sit and wait and not go. But you want comfortable shoes. Israel does not abide by the disability, what do we call those laws? The ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. So, the more modern buildings have it, the hotels have it, but when we're walking in Jerusalem, they didn't make it ADA. Those stones are 2,000 years old. When we go to Masada, those stones are 2,000 years old.
What's the longest distance, other than the Stations of the Cross?
That's probably.
What would be the average walk distance, or the longest?
Maybe in Caesarea. If we stop in Caesarea for the Roman aqueduct and we walk out onto the promenade and see the ruins there, not far. I don't think
less than a mile.
Oh yeah, way less. On Masada, when we take the cable car up and you get to the plateau on Masada, you can do some walking around. But you go where you want, and when you're finished, you get on the cable car and go down, and there's a nice, area to just sit and take it easy and wait and have a coffee.
It wasn't far from where the bus is to the furthest end.
Right.
A couple of football fields. A couple football fields.
Yeah, a couple hundred yards.
Yeah.
But not really.
Nothing. If we go up to the Golan Heights, if they take you into some of the areas along there, but again, the bus pulls up and you walk. You walk up there, you walk around, and you come back. The Stations of the Cross, for sure, because the Stations of the Cross, if we walk up it, they're going to bring you to Lions Gate, and Lions Gate is where it ends, and you're going to walk up, and that's to the point where, with my group, and they were more seniors, like 75 and above mostly. My guide, that was an on-the-fly decision also. She said, we're not going to do this uphill. They're not going to make it. We're going to start. I'm going to bring them up to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and we'll walk down.
Sounds good.
And we'll stop halfway for lunch.
But also, I thought the walk up, we did both.
Yeah.
So I thought the walk up was actually easier because uneven stairway with rock.
Up is easy.
It's going to be harder to walk downhill.
You're more control going up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stops on it too. Or am I not remembering this right? There was a lot of stops with all
every station, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found it easier to control going up personally. But
based on the faces I'm looking at here, I think walking up won't be a difficult issue.
That question I may have missed, but the Wailing Wall, is that part of it?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, in Hebrew it's called the Kotel, and the Wailing Wall is the outer wall of the second synagogue, which was destroyed in 70 AD. That's the temple. That's the temple wall that Jesus would have walked past. That's and we will go there. We will see it. You will spend time there. You'll be able to approach it. It abides by Orthodox Jewish rules. So the woman will go to one side, the men will go to another side. If we're there on a Monday, Thursday, or Saturday, you can see the reading of the Torah. The Torah is the Old Testament. It's the Bible. It's the Old Testament. And in Jewish tradition, a portion of the Old Testament the Old Testament is broken down into 52 parts, and one part is read a week. And that's the surround. The whole service on a Saturday revolves around the reading of the Torah, the Old Testament, every week. And you read it on Monday, you read it on Thursday, and you read it on Saturday. Quick historical question: why do you read it? Why would you have 3 different days that you read from the Bible in Jewish history? Well, Saturday is the Sabbath. Saturday is the 7th day, is the Sabbath, and that's when you rest, and that's when you spend your time in prayer and you go to synagogue. But why Monday, Thursday?
Because of the different section of the Torah, I suppose. Section on Monday.
What they'll do is that weekly portion will be broken up into thirds. That's true, but that's not the reason. Market day in Jerusalem, market day. The vendors all came into the city to do their trading on Monday and a Thursday. So if I got a captive audience, we're going to read from the Bible. Monday and Thursday.
To what degree will we be impacted by the Sabbath restrictions? I understand that everything shuts down kind of during the Sabbath, and we'll be there.
No.
No, what?
Yes and no. So, in Tel Aviv is the overwhelming majority of the Jewish population, of the state of Israel, are what's the word I'm looking for? Not religious. Not religious. Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon is the weekend there. A lot of people do go to work on Sundays in Israel.
Non-clerical day or something.
But I'm sorry?
Oh, you were looking for the word I was helping. Non-clerical day.
They're not religious. They're just not religious. So Saturday's a day off, and secular. That's the word I was looking for. They're secular. So they're not religious. They don't. Tel Aviv doesn't shut down. Many restaurants are open. The kosher restaurants won't be open. But you're not going to go to a kosher restaurant. You'll see restaurants that's open. Tel Aviv, things are going on all day Saturday, and we're not there on a Saturday, I don't think. Jerusalem's different. Jerusalem is a religious city. A lot of things close down, and there won't be a lot to do in Jerusalem. In the hotel, they will set aside, if there's a bank of 5 elevators, they will set aside what they call a Shabbos elevator, which stops on every floor every time you get in that elevator, because religious Jews can't push buttons. That's considered work. It's considered work, and you don't work on the Sabbath. So, to that degree, you will be impacted by, don't get in that elevator. Go in the elevator where you can push your buttons, go where you want. The breakfast on a Saturday will be a little less plentiful because they're not cooking, they're not using ovens, they're not doing those kinds of things. You may not be able to get your eggs in an omelet, but there'll be eggs. I mean, there'll be little differences. Things will be quiet in Jerusalem. If we're there on a Saturday, I highly recommend see what goes on at the wall. It's pretty. I think you've done that, where you see on a Sabbath what it's like at the Wailing Wall, at the Western Wall.
The way this is scheduled, are we going to be there on those days?
It says we leave Friday.
Oh, so we're not going to be
Yeah, so we won't be there for Sabbath night.
Well, you can go Friday. You can go. Well, no. You will. You will. Jewish holidays always are from the evening before to the next day. So Sabbath starts Friday at sundown. If you want to go to the wall Friday at sundown, really worth seeing.
I mean, but we leave Friday the 13th in the morning.
Our flight's at 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
So we
Friday, not on Thursday, not on
no, it's
Saturday.
the same. And we get into Jerusalem.
We get into Jerusalem on Monday, right? Yeah. Monday we drive into Jerusalem and then.
Yeah,
No, Friday.
One Friday to Saturday.
Yeah, and that'll be in, where are we then?
Where are we
On Friday, we're in Sea of Galilee.
That'll be the 6th and the 7th.
which is nice also because it's secular there. You'll be able to go and do things if you want to, but you can also take it easy. And they usually do a special Friday night dinner. Make it they kind of plus it up and make it nice. It's a lot of fun. And then a lot of, to be in Jerusalem on a Friday and Saturday night, with the exception of seeing what goes on at the wall, Jerusalem shuts down. Now, there's no public transportation either in all of Israel from Friday